My specific purpose is to inform my audience about how many people are reliant on animals for emotional support due to trauma, mental illness, etc. Have you ever encountered someone with an emotional support animal? As of today, there are nearly 200,000 emotional support animals registered in the world. There's also a wide variety of what these types of animals could be. Some are dogs, cats, ducks, reptiles, and even insects. This spread of animals has become very large in the last few years. Emotional support animals are extremely important to some people, and we need to understand why they do what they do. These animals help provide assistance with many forms of treatment, provide social support, and they also help stabilize intense emotions. Emotional support animals have been around for a long time and always will. Under the Americans with Disabilities Act, an emotional support animal encompasses animals of all species, and an emotional support animal does not require any type of training to assist an individual. Since I got my dog during the peak of COVID in May of 2020, she has always been there for me, especially during those difficult times of loneliness, so I can understand the connection between the individual and the ESA. There are tons of ESAs in the world, and we may not understand why these specific animals are used for that individual. Emotional support animals provide assistance with many forms of treatment. Quote, "These studies indicate that pets contributed to a child's development of nurturance and self-concept, promoted dialogue among family members, children, people with disabilities, and isolated individuals," end quote, said by Wilson and Turner 23 through 24. Quote, "Volunteers and institutional staff members have observed that people in the healthcare and educational settings experience benefits from animal contact that are similar to those recorded early studies of human-animal interactions," end quote, said by Wilson and Turner 26 through 27. Next, we are going to take a look at why these emotional support animals are important to some who have social anxiety. Emotional support animals provide social support. Quote, "Rocky's therapist suggested that Rocky bring Fitz to campus as an emotional support animal who could live in the residence hall with him," end quote, Jalongo 135. Quote, "There are tremendous differences in both the type of help provided by the animal and in the legal protections afforded to the person who needs an ESA versus the person who needs a service animal," end quote, Jalongo 135. Lastly, we're going to look at two different books and a quote from each to support why ESAs are crucial to some who need the support. ESAs also help stabilize intense emotions. Quote, "With the profession of occupational therapy, dogs are the species most frequently incorporated. This may be due to their long domestication history, ability to be trained, versatility within sessions, as well as their unique ability to read and respond subtle human verbal and nonverbal cues," end quote, Driscoll 272. Quote, "As the demand for assistant dogs for children with challenges increases, so does the need for knowledgeable and competent trainers," end quote, Gross 241. Emotional support animals are extremely important to some people who need these animals for trauma, mental illness, etc. We need to understand why these animals do what they do. These animals help provide the assistance in therapy sessions, provide social support, and they also stabilize intense emotions. Emotional support animals can save someone's life, and you would have never known, but now you do.